What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Thursday. Welcome in to another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast, being brought to you by our friends at omahasteaks.com. I'm your host, Matt Perrault, on socials at Sports Talk Matt. In this podcast, as I mentioned, sponsored by omahasteaks.com and the Labor Day sale going on right now. We are almost to Labor Day. When we get to Labor Day, the sale goes away. 50% off site-wide, plus 8 free Omaha Steak burgers and 8 free Jumbo Franks with the promo code JUICE in the search bar at omahasteaks.com. Take advantage of it right now. Okay, a 1-2 night. The Red Sox, well, they're dead. They're a fade for the rest of the season. Astros get that done. The other two games do not come in, unfortunately. They both are outright losses. But we laid only one unit. We didn't lay juice. So down, I think, 0.8 or so on the day. So not even a full unit loss, but a loss nonetheless. Puts us pretty much in the category of being flat for the week as we head towards football. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All college football. Buckle up the chin straps, fire up the barbecue, get the beers on ice, and let's go. Lots of good things to get to. I've got 3 plays tonight. I'll have a bunch of plays tomorrow, a bunch of plays on Saturday, and let's see how we come out of the Labor Day weekend with week number 1. It could go very well, or it could blow up in our face. 3-0 so far in college football. Let's see if we can keep the record unblemished here on a Thursday with a bunch of games to get into. Before we get the picks for Thursday, let me remind you about the Daily Juice NFL Picks Contest that is open right now through our friends at Splash Sports. What we are doing, we are offering you a chance to enter into an NFL straight-up pick contest with 7 games per week. You're just picking the winner, 7 games per week, for your chance to win potentially $4,500. $50 entry. You're going to log on to bettingpros.com/pick. We are up to 132 entries. This is good at the time of taping, okay? Good pace. Let's keep it going. We have about, 11 days or so left before we start the NFL season. So we have some time to get this. Hopefully we get over, we may not get to 500, but hopefully we get over 300. They'll adjust. I believe they're going to adjust the first place payout or the payouts once we get the actual number. The payout number of 4,500 is based off of 500 entries. So at $50 a pop. So if you know anybody who wants to be a part of it, get them on in. It's 1 entry per email address. But if you know somebody who wants to be a part of this, get them in, get them a part of it. And so it can be part of the prize pool. We're paying out the top 25 spots on this. So $50 could turn into 4,500 really easy. bettingpros.com/pick to register with Splash Sports. Deposit $50, enter into the contest, and away we go, and we will start the picks, and I'll explain all the rules about when to pick and deadlines and all that stuff a little bit later on in the podcast. But for now, bettingpros.com/pick to be a part of it. Okay, so let's start talking about Central Florida and Kent State. The number is 36.5. The total is 56. Some books are at 55.5. I got 56. Why is that important? Well, look, 8 times 7, 8 touchdowns, 56. Kent State is really bad. If you want to lay 36 points, 37 points, I don't mind it, okay? I do think that Central Florida is going to win this game. I do think they're going to come really close to covering. I just don't think Kent State's going to score that much, and I'm not so sure, given the weather, that the bounce house is going to be rocking to the point where they're going to score 50 points themselves. Because I think that might, we may get a field goal and I win 1 touchdown out of Kent, okay? They are returning nobody. They were decimated by the transfer portal. They were not good last year. They're not going to be good this year. Their defense is going to be atrocious. Will Kent State be able to score against UCF? That's the question. I don't think so. So I don't want to have it be with, a rain, windy, not like crazy wind, but I could easily see with the running clock, I could easily see Central Florida just running the ball and scoring 5 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns, and it's 42-0. I think that's a possibility. I'm just not really interested in laying 36.5 points. So given the weather, given the fact that I don't think Kent State's going to score, and given the fact that I'm not so sure that Central Florida wants to rub it in and score 60 points themselves and win 60-0. 56 is the number I got at DraftKings. We're going under 1.1 units. Under 56, Central Florida and Kent State tonight in Orlando, with the remnants of the hurricane still swirling around. Could be thunderstorms, kind of breezy, but not bad wind, but not great weather to be outside. Scattered storms, and there could be downpours and isolated thunderstorms and stuff like that. Enough that I think this game might be slowed down by that a little bit, but I just don't think Kent State's got the offense to hang, and I would hate it to be 35-0. And that would really burn me. That would really stink if the final score was 35-0. So I'm more comfortable betting the under 56 here for Central Florida and for Kent. Okay, bet number 2. Utah and Florida. This is probably the game of the night. Everyone's going to be watching this game. This is going to be really interesting. So Florida has Graham Mertz as the starting quarterback. That in itself makes me want to bet Utah. Did you watch Wisconsin football much? Did you think that guy was a good quarterback? Did you think he'd be the starting quarterback of an SEC team? I don't mind Billy Napier as a coach, but this is not a good situation for Florida. Not against Utah. 1, they're angry about last year. 2, in Salt Lake City is a really hard place to play. Utah has a chance to beat an SEC team on their home field. Rare. Really rare. No Cam Rising. Pete Thamel reporting that Cam Rising is not playing in this game. In comes Bryson Barnes. I went and watched Bryson Barnes play in scrub time in the bowl game against Penn State. Look, hard to take away much from it, but he looks like a competent quarterback. He can run, he can throw. Looks like a guy who can handle the offense. I mean, Kyle Whittingham had already talked about the fact that both quarterbacks were going to play anyway, even with Cam Rising if he was healthy. Cam Rising coming back from the ACL injury, not entirely ready to go. So here we go. There is a opportunity for one of the best receivers for Utah to play, but Utah has got a lot of talent. 7 starters on offense. The offensive line is going to be nasty. I think they're going to maul Florida. They're going to run the ball right down their throat, which is what Utah football is all about. Power football, line them up, big ugly against big ugly, and just go to work. And then I think you do play action. And you have a chance to make big plays in the passing game for Utah. Look, the number was 6.5. It dropped down to 4.5 because of the news involving the quarterback with Cam Rising. But look, this kid can play. I'm not against this at all. I mean, Bryson Barnes, I think, and they have another kid too, another guy who may play in this game as well, a more of a wildcat type of quarterback. I like Utah at home. I'm going to lay the 4.5 points. Utah at home, laying 4.5 for 1.1 units. Revenge time for Utah. I don't trust Graham Mertz at all. I don't think Florida's going to be very good. And I think in Salt Lake, with a chance to beat an SEC team, that environment is going to be rocking. They hate the SEC up there. That's going to be a really fun college football game and a really fun college football environment. I'm taking the home Utes. Lay the 4.5. Utah, minus 4.5 for 1.1 units. And the last game on my card, all right, all my Nebraska friends, you've talked me into it. Man, have they been selling me on Matt Perrault. They've been talking, and they've been talking, and they've been talking about, here we go. This team needed a coach. Scott Frost recruited well. There's talent on the team. They just were really poorly coached. The game day decisions, the in-game adjustments, they just weren't there. They were bad. Matt Perrault can run an offense. Matt Perrault can run a program. He knows how to prep. And he's back in a much better role for him. This is going to be a little weird, but let me talk this through for a second. Greg McDermott was the coach of Northern Iowa. He had Northern Iowa in the NCAA tournament. He did so well at Northern Iowa that he got the attention of Iowa State. He went to Iowa State and nothing went right. Everything went sideways. It just didn't work for him. He didn't fit. Greg McDermott was then hired to be the coach of the Creighton Blue Jays, where this season, Creighton will once again start as a preseason top 10 team. Last year, preseason top 10 team. Elite 8 for the first time in school history. Some guys work better at certain programs, and they're better off being the underdog. Now, I get it. Coach McDermott didn't go to the NFL like Matt Perrault did. But Matt Perrault comes back to college where I think he's much more comfortable. And at Baylor, I mean, he built that Baylor program up well enough to get the job in the NFL, but he was much better at Temple. He was unbelievable as an underdog at Temple. He, again, is an underdog on the road at Minnesota. He's got a transfer quarterback from Georgia Tech who can run. He's got weapons at wideout. And they've got, this Jeff Sims kid might very well be, I don't want to call him a diamond in the rough, but he might be the perfect guy to run this offense for Matt Rule. Have it be more of a running-based offense, grind it out, possession, and then ride the defense. This is a team for Nebraska where they've been waiting for this for so long. There's so much hype around this, and I'm not really sold on Minnesota. This is more of a bet. I'm not fading PJ Fleck's team, but this is more of a saying that Nebraska is going to keep the game close. They may not win the game, but I think they have a chance to keep the game close. The line is 7, minus 110. As long as Nebraska doesn't turn the football over, and I just think there's an opportunity here for Nebraska to keep it close, maybe steal the game, but be in it late against Minnesota on the road early in the year. It's not going to be cold up there. It's not going to be, this is a smash mouth team for Minnesota. And they've lost a lot of talent. Tanner Morgan, the quarterback, is no longer there. They lost a bunch of offensive linemen, no longer there. A bunch of running backs, no longer there. I don't know how good Minnesota really is. Should they be 7-point home favorites? I don't think so. This is more of a fade at Nebraska, what they've been last year. I'm taking the Huskers plus 7. Fine. I'll buy the Kool-Aid. I'll drink in. Huskers just put 92,000 into Memorial Stadium for a women's volleyball game, breaking the world record for number of people to watch a women's sporting event. Good week for Nebraska. Last night to tonight, let's go Huskers. Go Big Red. Plus 7. Huskers on the road against Minnesota. All right? A total, a favorite, and a dog. Under 56 for UCF and Kent State. Utah minus 4.5 at home against Florida. Nebraska plus 7 on the road against Minnesota. Good to have college football back. Let's see how we do here early on. Remember, not a bad time to take a look at your bankroll. Bunch of questions in the Discord channel. You're always welcome to ask me questions there. bettingpros.com/chat. I'll do my best to answer it. But what should my unit size be? Look, it's 1 to 3% in my opinion. Some people say 3 to 5%. I say 1 to 3%. If you have $100, it can be a $3 bet. Okay? That's my advice for a 1 unit. And when we start the college football season, you start football. Today is officially the start of football. I don't think last week really was football. This is football, okay? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, games every day. That 3%, your 1 unit should be 3% of your bankroll, and that's what we're going to run with for the season, okay? So what is your 3%? Well, what's your bankroll, okay? What are you willing to lose? What's the most amount of money you can lose for it to not matter, okay? $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, whatever the money is, whatever your number is. It's your business. No unit shaming, no judging. If it's $100, right? Then it's a $1 bet or a $3 bet. Nothing wrong with that. No judging, nothing. $1,000, $30, and so on, right? So that should be your 1 unit as you play through the season. So 1 to 3% if you're risk adverse, 1% if you're a little more, risky, 3 if you want to go crazy, go 5 if you want. I wouldn't recommend it, but I think 1 to 3% for your bankroll. And today is a good day to do it as we start the college football season. Good to have it back. Let's have a good night here on a Thursday. I'll talk to you guys in the Discord channel as we watch all 3 of these games going tonight. Good to have college football back. Put baseball on the back burner for a while. And let's watch some pigskin. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. It is the Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.